psychiatricasociation.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Frost advisory overnight, mostly clear, patchy frost, and lows in the upper 30s. We'll look for sunshine for tomorrow, highs in the upper 50s, and continued warming for Thursday and Friday, with sun, highs in the mid-60s. Currently at 64 degrees.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, Wisconsin farmers and tariffs. He's the president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union. Darren Von Ruden will join us. I hope you can too.
Matnair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11. From Hobart to broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who once tore his ACL playing chess, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are in our beautiful state or parts beyond if you're listening on the stream or the app. It is great to have you. Lots of fun tonight on the show. I like to think we have fun every night, but tonight in particular, the focus is comedy. We've got two really funny gents on the show tonight. Our first guest at 6:35 will be Chicago-based comedian Jim Flanagan, who is doing a show outside of Milwaukee soon. We'll talk about that. Jim is very funny. He's been on the show before, and he is a very, very funny guy. He's had his own Dry Bar special, and I believe one of the clips I sent you, Conrad, it said Nateland Presents or something. That's Nate Bargatze, right? I mean, that's like, that's his thing? Okay. So he's one of Nate Bargatze's favorites, too, and he is one of our favorites. Jim will be here at 6:35, and we will talk all things comedy. And then, in the second hour, Door County-based comedian Asher Brooks joins the show. Asher is a comedy club owner, the Firehouse Comedy Club in Door County, in Sturgeon Bay, more specifically, and he is also a comedian. So we're going to talk about a big show they have coming up at the Firehouse later this month as well. I've got a Rodney Dangerfield clip I'm hoping to get to that I thought was very funny. And so we're going to just have some laughs tonight. It's a Tuesday laugh fest here at Nite Lite. So you are here on an outstanding night. Conrad is behind. He's on the other side of the glass.
Yes.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. That 2-0 feeling, it feels good.
What are you talking about? 2-0. Who's 2-0?
A little team called the Milwaukee Brewers.
You are everything I don't like about a sports fan. I don't know, Pete. I'm really worried about this series. And then the second you're validated, it's like, the Brewers.
Well, maybe I just do it because you're a Cubs fan. You know?
I think you do it either to be polite or because you really are. You want to set yourself up so you can say, yeah, I knew they didn't have it, whatever. But I will say this. This is the worst way. As a Bear and Cub fan the last few years, we've found the worst ways to win, or to lose, I'm sorry. Like the Bears, whether it's bad clock management, whatever, a Hail Mary that goes awry. But the Cubs have just teased us as Cubs fans because they start the game one with a home run in the first inning, and it's like, all right, let's go. And then last night, a 3-run homer, and then the Brewers like, nope. And then they come back and just wax them.
Yeah, once we took Ashby out, that bullpen put some magic in.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, look, I haven't followed baseball much this year, but that's what I hear. That's why I can't even get. I'm not going to be that guy either. Like, I've hardly followed baseball, and I'm going to be irate that my team. I'm a casual fan at best. Even last night, I had the game on, and I was kind of writing a script with somebody, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. They're not going to win it. I will say this, just some observations. Pete Crow Armstrong, people love that guy, and he's a dynamic player. He's great defense. He steals bases. He reminds me of, and for those of you who are Cub fans that might be listening, Javi Baez, like, chases bad pitches like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, he did that. I mean, he did do that last night. I mean,
I've been watching him do that for 2 months, and I don't see like how. I mean, I know he's young. Maybe
yes,
he'll get better. But.
Yes. He almost had that. That he almost robbed that home run from Jackson Churio.
I heard that on sports radio. That's right. The guy is giving effort. Listen, Con, if you want to dish it out right now, that's fine. But don't think I will not turn this around at some point.
Okay, I'm excited to see Game 3.
I hope it's at least a series. I would love for the Cubs to come back and win 2 games and force a Game 5, just for the excitement and the drama. And I would say that even if I wasn't a Cub fan. I love the last game of a series.
I had some Cubs friends that are Cubs fans, and they're like, "Well, we're going up to Wrigley North." And
what?
That's
Wrigley North. Yeah,
that's what they say. But now I was like, "Yeah, we're going to AmFam South now."
It'll be interesting to see because I do believe, I think sports fans are intense if they're intense sports fans. But you might have a better chance. Like, I think in a really huge city like Chicago or LA, going to sporting events is also kind of like a networking thing. You get your fanatics there, which is great, but I don't know. And maybe I'm just generalizing. Maybe it's just as bad in Milwaukee, but people have tickets and they're like, I'm not going to go. I'll just get rid of them. But it seems like mostly Brewer fans the last couple nights.
It was loud last night.
Yeah.
Super loud. You could hear it through the TV or the radio.
Yeah. Well, it should be interesting game. I think they could have handled another game today, though. I don't think you need. I mean, all year they play breakneck schedules, 6 games a week.
Yeah.
Why do you need all this time? The Brewers have had enough time off. They look fresh.
It's just the playoff schedule now after the wild card,
Yeah.
It's good. It's kind of good to see. Well, not really. I don't know. The Dodgers are just winning against the Phillies, and it's 2 teams that have $1 million payrolls.
Who, the Dodgers and Phillies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I went to a lot of Dodger games when I lived in LA. They're a great organization, but I have not followed them. And they were my son Joe's team when he was growing up because now he's switched. It's funny. Like, did you follow your dad's teams?
No, actually, I was really independent when it came to picking my teams when I was young.
Okay.
And then I went back to Wisconsin when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something. I was like, why am I cheering for teams that I used to like the Dodgers because of Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp.
Yeah.
But I was like, why
am I cheering for this team that's 2,000 miles away? Let's get to our question because we have a good one tonight. I'm really curious to see if the social media responses are any indication. This should be a good question. It's divided. We're a house divided, but let's go to the Nightlight question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Questions.
What are your thoughts on the Kurter Burger? It is back. The thing that started as a joke at a Wisconsin institution like Culver's. People didn't like that it was a joke, so they actually created the Kurter Burger. And now it comes out annually. What are your thoughts on the Kurter Burger? Oh, man, I thought about this for about a half a second, and I didn't change my mind. I'm not a Kurter Burger fan. My response was love the Kurter and the burger separately, but it's an unholy union. I can't do the Kurter Burger. It just looks gross. So that's where I'm at. I'll start us off. I'm anti, and I like Culver's. I like their food. I can't do the Kurter Burger.
I agree. Something about a curd in the shape of a burger, I can't do. I haven't tried it, though. Maybe I'll try it someday, but I just don't think I'll like it because of how much stuff there is in that bite.
It's too much.
Exactly.
It's gluttony, and it's like just sodium and like I can't think of a more unhealthy thing to eat, really.
See, with something like that thick, it has to be deep fried, I feel like you're going to taste the oil and the grease in it, you know?
I would say if you want crunch, sprinkle a few croutons on the burger and put an extra slice of cheese. Yeah, the deep fried thing, that's concerning. But even the people that like it say it can be a bit much. Like they like it, they'll eat it, and then they're done. Kind of like me with fish fries. I'll just completely go crazy, gluttony with a fish fry, and then I won't eat one for a year. I think some people feel the same way about the Critter Burger. But let's put it out there. The question is out there. We got some great social media responses. Let us know where you stand. What are your thoughts on the Critter Burger? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Conrad and I are both, I mean, we're not haters, but we just don't like it. So let us know what you think. You can also text us on the app, or if you're watching the radio on the stream on X, YouTube, or Facebook, let us know there. Drop us a stream comment. And you won't be chastised for your answer. It's good old American fast food. Go for it. I honestly can't, I don't think I can think of anything worse, though, like that really grosses me out more. There's a place in Madison that has, like, I think it's called Conrad's. They have tater tots and everything.
Oh, really? I own it?
It's called Conrad's with a C.
Oh, never mind.
So you can't even be a silent
I was hoping
partner.
I had a secret business that I made millions from.
Yeah, because that happens. Oh, apparently I had a business I didn't even know about. But they put tater tots in everything. Salad, on a burger, and, you know, that's potatoes. Okay, I guess I could go for that. But then they have wraps. I don't know. I mean, but they don't. It doesn't look good, but maybe it tastes good, I guess.
I'm a good tot type of guy. I really like tots.
I do too.
I think in a wrap, that'll be like a breakfast wrap. Ooh, that would be
With like
good.
a chipotle sauce or something.
Yeah,
or
with some
hot
tots
sauce.
and eggs and a little sprinkle
Tots
of
and
bacon.
eggs is great. That's hash browns. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. It just doesn't. It didn't look like they have all these pictures on the outside of the window, and it just doesn't look that appetizing.
Okay.
But it looks better than the Critter
So
Burger.
you're telling them they need some better advertisement.
They need to paint a prettier picture, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to tell anybody how to do their business, especially if you're getting points on the back end, even though your name's spelled wrong. So we got that. So let us know, folks. Be part of the fun. Tell us what your thoughts are on the Critter Burger. I noticed this, and this really bummed me out. Apple TV went up. Did you know that? The price of Apple TV?
It did it. Oh, man.
$3 a month. It was $9.99. Now it's $12.99. And it happened in
sucks.
August, and I didn't even notice it. But honest to God, that's how they get you. It's like first, oh yeah, streaming. There's no commercials, and all the shows come out at once. Well, now that's not true, and there's commercials, and they jacked it up. They've taken the fun out of TV watching.
You know, I feel like they haven't put out anything in a decent amount of time where I actually wanted to go back to it.
Apple TV?
Yeah, there's nothing like new that, because I'll just take a look at it if I'm looking for like, what kind of things do I want to watch tonight? And I'll go on Apple TV. I'm like, okay, nothing has changed since I checked last time a month ago.
Well, the new season of Slow Horses is out. That's how. But again, like with streaming, cancel it. There's no contracts.
Yeah.
And my wife and I keep trying to do this, and I just forget. And I'm like, I don't need Apple TV for 2 months. That'd save me $25 now, $26. And then I'll get it for a month, and I'll watch everything for a month. I'll focus on Apple TV. I just don't do that, unfortunately. So, but that is, I agree, though. They should be putting out, and they put out movies like this movie I watched the other night, Highest to Lowest, the Spike Lee, Denzel Washington movie. You know, that was free on Apple TV, but not really. I mean, it just depends on how much of their stuff you watch, I guess. But I don't know. That really kind of bummed me out. I mean, $13.
Yeah, it's... Why do they need to keep going up? They already make enough money from everything else.
Because I know it's Apple, right? I mean, they're like one of the biggest media companies in the world, but like, I don't get, and they do it because people pay it. But I think people, if they stop paying it, if there was some way we could all come together and not give into this, I would be totally on board with that. Let's look into this during the break.
Everyone cancel Apple TV, right?
Yeah, right now. Go. So we do post our question, too, on social media, folks. So every day the question goes out on Facebook. You can go to Facebook and answer it. If you can't listen to the show, we'll respond if we can. Give us a like or a follow if you're on Facebook or one of our streaming services. And let us know how you feel about the Curter Burger. Jim Flanagan is here at 6:35, Chicago-based comedian who has a big show coming up outside of Milwaukee. Very funny guy. And then Door County-based comedian Asher Brooks will be here as well. It's all about the comedy tonight, folks. We're going to talk about, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on Bad Bunny when we come back playing the Super Bowl. Some people are not happy. So we'll do that, and we'll read some of your texts. That's coming up next on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
It's officially October, which means it's time to celebrate Halloween all month long. And if you're looking for some of the best Halloween events or all of the different trunk or treats that are around for the kids, don't you worry, I got you covered. From raves, trunk or treats, glow in the parks, or Halloween parties, I will meticulously search just for you, so you don't have to stress. You can just have fun instead. Just go to WGBW.FM and click events. You're welcome.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million
As
teachers of
Wisconsin
color.
has a game of cribbage with
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nightlight. It's a laugh fest here tonight. We've got two comedians on the show. Jim Flanagan and Asher Brooks will be joining us over the course of the next hour and a half or so. And we will talk about some upcoming shows here in Door County and one outside of Milwaukee. In the Sussex area, that's where Jim Flanagan will be performing. And Asher is one of the owners, I believe, of the Firehouse Comedy Club in Sturgeon Bay. And he is also a very funny comedian as well. So we'll talk a little comedy. This Bad Bunny stuff, when did people start losing their minds when they don't agree with an artist at the Super Bowl? I'm not a huge country music fan. I was never a huge rap fan. And if people said it was one of those artists at the Super Bowl, I'd go, oh, okay, I don't have to watch. But now people are in their core are outraged. Is that the only reason you watch the Super Bowl is because that's how you listen to new music is the Super Bowl halftime show? It doesn't make any sense. Go get a snack. That's what I do. It's so odd.
Yeah,
Relax.
Like last year it was, Kendrick was on there, and I thought it was a fine show.
Yeah.
This year I don't understand a lot of Bad Bunny's music, but I'll still listen to it because I really like the show around the halftime show.
Yeah. Right.
Everything.
It's a
behind
spectacle.
the scenes.
Yeah, it's lights and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I've never heard one word of Bad Bunny's music, but I'll probably have my eye to the TV just to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that Kendrick Lamar last year, I didn't know any of his music either, but I watched it. I thought it was a pretty cool performance. And when I read about it, I was like, wow, a lot went into that. And I had an appreciation of it. I'm not going back and rewatching it, but I just don't know why people lose their minds over this stuff. It's a football game.
Yeah.
Is this how you find new music? Probably not a good idea.
It's to the point where whatever name is said, someone's going
to have an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it was like it was Springsteen and U2, oh, I'm excited. I'll watch the whole Super. Oh, it's not somebody I like. Okay, so it blows my mind. It's such wasted anger and energy. But whatever. Hey, you had I want to talk about gym attire because you told me something earlier, and I'm probably the guy at the gym that other people would have an opinion on too. But I'll let you go first. What did you see at the gym today?
Well, I just saw someone in sandals with no socks and just open toe. And I was like, it's kind of gross to just have that open and toe in the gym, but also it's a major safety hazard if you think about it.
Well, it is, but if you drop a 50-pound weight on your foot, you're pretty much screwed.
No, yeah.
Sandals are not. I mean, but I agree with you. The look of it is kind of like, I don't need to see your hairy toes while you're doing squat thrusts,
I'm just saying a shoe can help out with, maybe not the injury, but also if you have a sandal on, I feel like your nails are going to get more injured.
You're worried about another dude's toenails. Hey, come on, buddy. Safety hazard.
You don't want to chop up them toenails.
Well, here's why I can't really. I go to the gym 2 times per 7 days, and I do this weight routine. It's not much. I'm there for 30 minutes. I do the bare minimum just to keep some resistance training. But I don't change my clothes. Like, I'll go in pants and like a shirt with a collar or like a whatever. And I'm just like, I'm not going home to put on spandex and high tops and a headband to go back to the gym for 30 minutes. It's on my way. I barely break a sweat because I'm not hitting the treadmill. I just lift some weights. And I don't overdo it. I'm not entering any contests. So I know people look at me, though, and go, oh, that's an interesting shirt. What, are you making your first communion after you lift weights here or what?
There is something you could do. What I do is I bring a gym bag.
Yeah.
And then has my gym clothes in it.
Okay, but still, I have to go into the locker room. It takes you 10 minutes. It's all about time with me. I want to get home. I don't want to be at Planet Fitness.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
But I get that, and I don't it's fine with me. I like that people put a little effort into how they look at the gym, but I'm just not one of those people.
Yeah, I don't really put too much. I just grab a pair of shorts and a T-shirt I can find. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. I just don't want to have the same clothes that I come to work in and, that I worked out in. So,
do you wear a jockstrap?
It depends what day.
Oh, it's Tuesday.
Jockstrap day.
Does anybody wear those anymore? I remember you couldn't even, like, in the 70s and 80s, you had to wear it for gym, for whatever. And then it's like, now I don't. Do people still wear them?
I have never worn one.
I mean, to work out. I wear one every day anyway, just to go about my daily routine, but not to the gym. I wouldn't do that. Let's read some. We've got some stream text here. We'll get to our question of the day, folks. What are your thoughts on the Critter Burger? It is back at Culver's. 820 calories a pop. You get your cheese curds and your meat all on the same sandwich. So let us know how you feel about that. Dave on the stream says, I'd try it if it's free. You know what? I'd probably do that too. I'd take a few bites at least because it just looks too unappealing to me. Dave also says, I'm kind of scared of it. Totally with you, Dave. And then Dave says, where are you, Sid? They're text buddies.
They are?
They're stream buddies. I love that. Dave says, it originally came out on my birthday, which is National Cheese Curd Day, October 15th. All right, you got to remind me Dave's birthday is coming up. Take a memo.
Okay.
Let's not forget.
We'll sing happy birthday.
Sing happy birthday. He says it's sold out in 10 minutes. That can't be true. 10 minutes?
I'm not surprised.
I don't know. Okay. Sarah Jean on social media says, the curd burger, 18,000 exclamation points. Yes, 100 exclamation points. I look forward to getting one each year. Maybe 2, but then I'm good. I could see that. Thank you, Sarah Jean. Our pal Luke Mathers. I knew Luke was going to love the curd burger. Didn't you just know that?
I feel like he's a Curder burger guy.
Curder hoarder. It's the best thing on the Culver's menu, and that's saying a lot. Luke Mathers, Civic Media Zone, and then our pal Rich Locasio says, can you order it lettuce wrapped? Oh, my God. I would pay money to see Rich. Or yeah, I want it because it's deep fried. It's not animal style.
I'll take a Curder burger lettuce wrap, please.
Hey, when we come back after the news, comedian Jim Flanagan is here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have some laughs. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
From the 97.9 WGBW newsroom, I'm Connie Fellman with this local news update. The man accused of stealing historic cast iron crosses from a local cemetery to sell online made his initial court appearance yesterday. 58-year-old Bradley Block of Lamartine appeared in Winnebago County Court on felony charges of theft totaling up to $100,000. Police say Block stole 6 4-foot-tall iron crosses from St. Patrick's Cemetery. They were valued between $10,000 and $15,000 each. The gravestone markers were molded at the old Menasha Foundry in the 1800s. Investigators arrested Block in August after finding the markers for sale on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. Police say when investigators went to the Lamartine address listed in the post, they found one of the crosses displayed in the front yard. Through the course of the investigation, police tracked down all 6 of the stolen crosses that had already been purchased by buyers in DeKalb, Illinois, Kewanee, and Waupun. Authorities say they're working to return the grave markers to the cemetery. How soon that will happen depends on whether they're needed as evidence in the trial. The court gave Block a $500 signature bond. He's ordered not to have contact with any graveyards or use any online selling sites. His next court appearance is October 27th. It's not just Taco Tuesday today, but it's National Taco Day. In honor of the celebration, Taco Bell is offering tacos for $1, as well as other deals on food. Moe's Southwest Grill here in Green Bay is also getting in on the action with a $2 taco promotion. And Margaritas out near Lambeau regularly runs a buy one, get one free taco special on Tuesdays, which coincides today with National Taco Day. With news at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM, I'm Connie Fellman, 97.9 WGBW
On your entertainment
News.
beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. It's been said that nothing good happens after midnight, even when something might seem harmless like doing wind sprints behind a bar at 12:30 a.m. Former Jets quarterback and Fox News analyst Mark Sanchez was doing just that after several drinks, apparently, early Saturday morning. It led to a physical altercation with a much older man, which is still under investigation. It was first reported that Sanchez was in critical condition with stab wounds, but now it's come out that he might have been the instigator of the incident that involved a 69-year-old grease truck driver. According to security tapes, both men, despite getting physical, were trying to record each other with their phones. Authorities say Sanchez body slammed the man to the ground and beat him up a bit before being stabbed 2 or 3 times, at which point Sanchez ran off. Mark Sanchez was arrested while recovering in the hospital, but has since been released. More details are sure to follow with this strange incident. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Frost advisory overnight, mostly clear, patchy frost, and lows in the upper 30s. We'll look for sunshine for tomorrow, highs in the upper 50s. And continued warming for Thursday and Friday, with sun, highs in the mid-60s. Currently at 62 degrees.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Yeah, all night long. And nobody don't dance on the edge of the dark. We've got the radio on. And it feels
Welcome back to Nightlight. Well, we've got a lot of interesting responses here for our question of the night. Your dad had a good idea too. We'll read all those texts coming up, but our question of the night is: how do you feel about the Curter Burger? Conrad and I are not fans, but we admit we haven't. Have you tried one? You haven't tasted one.
I have not. But
I just can't.
I've tried their burgers and I've tried their curds.
And you just don't see a marriage there.
Not a whole curd burger like.
Yeah, that's kind of how I
patty.
am too. Well, we're getting a little judgment here. People thinking we need to try it first. But we'll read those texts coming up, and we'll get to those. But in the meantime, would love to know how you feel about the Curter Burger at Culver's, our once a year. It is once a year, right?
Yeah, I believe they only do it for a certain amount of weeks and then they're done.
If there's ever a time during the year I'm looking to put on weight, I'll probably.
There you go.
Yeah. But right now, folks, I'm excited. It is my pleasure to welcome back to Nightlight a very funny Chicago-based stand-up comedian who will be in Wisconsin soon doing a show outside Milwaukee. We'll talk to him about that and many other things. He joins us now over the stream, Mr. Jim Flanagan.
Pete, Conrad, how are you guys?
We're doing great. I like that hat.
Oh, thanks, man. It's the Morton Arboretum.
Is that in Madison? No,
Actually
that's
in suburban Chicagoland. Yeah,
That's
Lisle,
right, okay.
Illinois. It's
Lisle,
where I like to go
Illinois,
hike
yes.
around there quite a bit.
Nice. There used to be a
We're
Laugh
off
Factory
Curter
in
Burger.
Lisle. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to ask you about let's start with the Curter Burger, actually. People don't need to know what arboretums I visited over the years. I'd rather talk about meat and cheese pushed into one. You guys have Culver's in Chicago, and it seems like they're popular wherever they go. How do you feel about the Curter Burger, Jim? Have you tried one?
I haven't, but I got to be honest. I've been listening for a little bit, and I decided to look it up. And I don't know if you guys have dove into the nutrition and ingredients at all. This is fascinating. The beef patty is only 170 calories, and the Curter Burger cheese crown is 310 calories. So it's like twice as much curd as it is burger.
And it's deep fried. I mean, I just looked at the calories. I know it has 820 total, but that sodium content has got to be through the roof.
Insane. 1,550 milligrams. When you're that much, you just start calling it grams, right? You don't need to go milligrams when you're 1,000.
Oh, that's great. Well, again, I think most people that like it say they have it once and just like maybe to do it or for the experience, and then they're done. It's not like everybody's going out to get a Curter Burger every day for lunch unless you're playing varsity football and need to add weight for some reason.
I think that's the point, is like to get people talking about it, right? Like this is
Yeah.
what they want.
This is what they want. I'm happy to help Culver's. They're a fine organization. I love their food. I'm just saying. I did.
Can I tell you my Culver's hack?
Yeah, please.
What I like to do is I always get the Culver Kids meal because it's everything you want. It's a drink, it's fries, it's a burger, and you get a free scoop of frozen custard.
Oh, nice.
And now it's perfect until they're like, "Can I get a name?" And I have to say Jim, because I don't think of I don't have children. You know what I mean? I'm not like thinking of a kid's name, so I'm just pretending I have like a 9-year-old named James in the back of my car. And I pull around, it's just me. you know, and they're like, "Oh, a kid wanted a Coke Zero, huh? Is that's really popular among the youngsters nowadays?"
I got to get this home to the little guy. Pack it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before this custard melts. You know what? I'll just eat it for him.
Have you ever gone? I've done this too, and I'm not proud of this, but I'll go through a drive-through like at Taco Bell when I'm just starving or whatever, and I'll order so much food I have to pretend I'm ordering it for someone else too. Like I'll act like I'm on the phone and go, "What else did you want?" Okay, and then I'll order it, but it's all just for me. It's like 6 tacos, nachos, Belgrande, and I can mouth through all of that.
Pete, I'll do you one better. Not only do I do that in drive-throughs, but I also do that. Like I did that the other day at the car wash. I was like, yeah, these kids have been getting all these food crumbs all over my driver's seat. Like, I don't want to take responsibility for my actions. So I like have a fake family that just gets the brunt of everything that I have to deal with. You know, the other day I went to return something at the store that was like $8, and the lady was very annoyed that we're going through this for $8. And I was like, the wife will get mad if I don't return it. Like, what? Why am I making up these people?
Oh, that's so great. That's like, did you ever rent an adult film?
I haven't, but I have for my family. Yeah. You know, they want to see it, not me. These kids got to learn somehow. Can't trust the schools.
Oh, the little woman sent me out. Can you recommend a good title? I don't know. It's good to see you, buddy. I'm so glad you're here. Let's start with Sussex, Wisconsin. I actually know Sussex. I have cousins that were born and raised in Sussex, the Murphy clan. And it's a lovely area, but what's going on stand-up wise there? You got a gig there.
I am. I'm doing a show at the Thirsty Duck, which is the most Wisconsin bar name I can think. Like, it's great. I love everything about it. I believe it's like a school tiny bowling alley.
Okay.
The type where like they use the little bowling ball. I probably should have looked this up before I started talking about it, but you know what I'm talking about? It's like, maybe it's can-pin bowling where they use a tiny bowling ball.
Yeah.
And in the basement they have a comedy show going on.
Bowling, yeah.
Duck pin bowling. There it is.
Yes, that's
Thank you. And they're doing a comedy show. Yep, absolutely. So it's going to be October 25th. I'm there with Calvin Evans and Sarah Perry. Honestly, too good of a lineup for basement of a duck pin bowling alley, but it's going to be really fun. If anyone wants to come out, we'd love to see you guys there. Yeah, I love Sussex area too, Pete. I actually dated a woman from Sussex for a few years in my late 20s, early 30s. And she was just past Milwaukee, and that's not true when you're coming from Chicago. It is like
wait, sorry, you cut out, Jim. I think I missed the punchline. You dated her, and then you cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. She would always tell me, like, when we started dating, she told me it was just past Milwaukee, and that is not true. It's another 40. You have to go like through Milwaukee, past. It's a suburb of Waukesha. I like to think of it as. It's really.
Right.
More than a suburb of Milwaukee. It's way out there, but it's a beautiful community.
So what happened? She didn't want to leave Sussex at the end of the day, or what?
She did. She actually moved into Chicago for a while, and then the hustle and bustle eventually got to her, and she was like, I need to get back up north. So we had a good run. No complaints there.
That's good. I will say this: Sussex, when my aunt and uncle, my uncle Pat and Aunt Sharon, Pat Murphy, if you will, Brewers manager. It's not the same guy, but they moved out to Sussex from right in Milwaukee, and you could see downtown Milwaukee. They lived on a hill. It was stunning, and hardly anybody was out there. And now there are trees all over the place. It's like a subdivision. It's become an actual suburb. So the growth is incredible. So my point is, you should have a ton of people, whether they're bowling, duckpin bowling, or just want to see some comedy.
Yeah, no, I've done the show once before, and they get a great turnout. So I'm really looking forward to coming back. Great. I really do enjoy the community too. It's there is so much to do there. I didn't think so as a young man in my late 20s, but they really have built it up a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if you felt this way. It's been forever since I was a working comedian, but I always loved Wisconsin audiences. Like, I was based out of Chicago like you. Loved going to Milwaukee, loved going to Madison. I even worked Green Bay a couple times. They had a club here for a while. Do you find that with Wisconsin crowds, and are they different from Chicago crowds?
Not just because I'm on your show, Pete, but I really believe that Wisconsin comedy audiences are the best in the country. I mean, I've gone to some weird places that you would never expect anyone to be able to get to, much less actually find their way there. One time, gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the town. town, maybe 1,500 people. It was there was a blizzard. The Badgers were playing Duke in the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament. I mean, like everything going against us. And we sold out 2 shows. And at the end of the night, I just asked the people, I'm like, why are you here? And they were like, well, because you're here. We're not gonna we're not gonna have you come to town and not be there. And like they were just so excited for people to be coming to their town. You know what I mean? They like felt it as a point of pride that like we have to show up. And they're just the best audiences. They just want to have a good time. I really love performing for Wisconsin. There's nothing like it.
I agree, and I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm glad they're still great audiences because they truly, and I agree with you. And I used to say this: the Comedy Cafe in Milwaukee was my favorite room to work in the entire country. It was, I don't know, they just packed it, and they were great crowds. So I hope you have that same success in Sussex on October 24th. My guest is Jim Flanagan. He is a Chicago-based stand-up comedian. You can see him in Sussex, Wisconsin, October 24th. What's the name of the place again, Jim?
The Thirsty Duck.
Thirsty Duck, right? Okay,
you got
it. October 24th. Should people just call the venue if they want to bowl or laugh?
If you go to the Thirsty Ducks website, they've got a link for tickets and all of that there. So definitely check it out if you're in the area.
Here's the catch, and I think this is strange. Even when you just go there to watch comedy, they make you rent shoes, which maybe that'll catch on.
Pete, do you want to come out and do some time? He's locked in. Come do a set.
No, I can't. Be terrified. But I do think it'd be funny. Couldn't you just see that? Like you go up to the counter, I need to get some shoes, and the guy goes, comedy or bowling? You can use that if you're not humoring me, Jim, take the joke. If you're humoring me, thank you. Yeah.
I'm going to try it, and I'm going to give you credit just in case there's any Nightlight fans out there who show up to Sussex. I don't want them thinking I'm just stealing your material. I'll give you credit on stage.
Oh, I hope they show up. I think it's great. I think you're a tremendous comedian. And it's interesting. I was looking for a clip to play of you tonight. And I saw you did a set on YouTube. It said Nateland. And I assume that's Nate Bargatze. Are you like, this guy's going to take over the whole world eventually. I know he wants to create a theme park and he's hosting award shows and he's a great comic. But how does that work? How did you get on that show? Are you guys friends, or did he see you somewhere? Do you have to be chosen for that? How does that work?
Yeah, he saw a clip, and actually the day I filmed that set was the first time I ever got to meet him, and he couldn't have been nicer. Have been just more involved in the process and wanted us to just feel like a normal comedy show. He didn't want it to feel like a big production because he wanted us to just be relaxed and do what we do and not worry about it being something larger than that. But he really does. He likes showcasing clean comedy, and he knows I'm not fully clean, but he knows that like I can work clean. And I think that's a big part of his brand, and he wants to be able to get that out there to more people. This last weekend, I was in Birmingham with a guy named Derek Stroop, who's kind of blowing up right now under the Nateland umbrella. It was just open for him filming his Netflix special. So it really is like there's this whole kind of Joe Rogan, Theo Von world of comedy out there. But there's also this fascinating dynamic, like this counterculture of like clean comedy. And again, like if you come to the Duck, I'm gonna curse, but I'm not gonna let the good people of Sussex only hear the clean stuff. I'm gonna give them everything I got. But like it's just fascinating to see that there's such a market for this, and there are so many people who want stuff that they can take the whole family to a show, right? They don't have to worry about grandma and their grandkids. And right now we're so divided. It's kind of nice to have something for everybody.
I agree, and to me, it's always been like I just want to laugh. I don't care. Like I used to work with guys who could be dirty, and if they were funny doing that, I'm fine with that. Or if they're clean, that's great too. And maybe I'm a little more in awe that they could be totally clean, like a Brian Regan or Nate Bargatze, because it's harder to do that a little bit. But I swore sometimes, and I never really paid attention to it. But I just I'm with you though. I think if you're funny, you're funny. Do your thing,
And I think that's the midpoint you want to be, right? You don't want people going, oh, he was funny for a clean comic, or he was funny for a dirty comic. It was just like, oh, that was a really funny comic. And that's kind of where I'm trying to get to. And I think you're in that same boat. And it's funny that's another thing. Everyone has a different consideration of what is clean or what is dirty. So you might not swear, but you might touch on topics that some people. So I don't love the labels. What I love that Nate does, though, is he says, these people are going to be clean when you see them on my programming, on my content. Yeah. And I can't speak for anything else they do. Great.
All right, we're
That's
coming
all I
right
want.
back. Jim Flanagan is here. We'll continue this on the other side of a very short break. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drug driving and let's achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn.
I could feel at the time there was no way of knowing for the reason I
Welcome back to Nightlight. I'm Pete Schwaba. Our question of the night is, how do you feel about the Curter Burger, folks? 820 calories of glory if you like it. A little too much if you don't, but let us know, and we will get to your texts soon. Great to have you with me on this Tuesday night as we broadcast statewide here from beautiful downtown Green Bay. A gorgeous night. Hope it is wherever you are listening from. My guest is Jim Flanagan, a very funny stand-up comedian. You can see him in Sussex, Wisconsin at the Thirsty Duck, October 24th. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. He's worked the room before. Jim, I have to ask you, I think most comics hate being asked this. Where, I can't believe I'm saying this to you. Where do you get your material? Like, you have such great takes on things, and we have a clip of you too I'd like to play at some point, but I love your stuff on dating and that when you got in the car accident. Like, is it everyday stuff, and how do you write? Do you sit down every day and write at a particular time, or just jot stuff down when it comes to you? Oh, we don't have, is he muted? I think you're muted, Jim.
Check.
Oh, there we go. Now we got you. No, we don't. Is Jim?
How about now? Check, check, check.
Yeah, we're good. There you go.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
I wish I had a better answer, but I kind of wait for things to happen to me. I really do. I wish I was like a sit and write every day, and I try to, but not a whole lot comes out of it. So, like the car accident, you were talking about that. Different things that happen to me kind of give me an opportunity to write something. And I do, it's not the only thing, but like there is this weird thing when something bad happens to you as a comedian, you're like, oh boy, here we go again. I'm back, so there's a party that kind of needs things to go wrong, but I think I'm pretty experiential in my comedy. So I think that for me, a lot of it is going out and living life. I spent most of the summer doing cruise ships in Alaska, and kind of hard to come up with a lot out of that. But then I started I've just been writing about the overall experience, because people will you shouldn't live with your audience, I think, is my main takeaway from doing stand-up on cruise ships. Is like you shouldn't move in with them for a while. You're just, all you want to do is show and leave. And then the next day at breakfast, one guy goes, hey, you're Flanagan the comedian. I go, yeah. He goes, I didn't care for it. It's like, okay, great, thank you very much. You could have just not talked. I'm just here for eggs.
Trying to eat my eggs Benedict in peace.
That's
Get
it.
out of here.
That's all I want.
Wow.
Another time I was on an elevator, a lady and her husband get on the elevator, and she goes, oh, you're the comedian, let's take a photo. And we took a photo, and then I go, did you enjoy the show? And she goes, oh, we didn't like it. And I've thought about that lady every day since, Pete. I hope her whole camera roll is just full of pictures of things she didn't do on her vacation. It's like, this is the comedian we didn't see, this is the hotel we didn't stay at, and this is the Great Wall of China.
Oh, that's hilarious. I always liked when you get compliments. Like, I remember I was working with Vince Moranto, who I'm sure you know. We were in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and these two girls came up to us after the show, and one of them said, you guys weren't bad. It's like, okay, thank you. Like, she was like right in the middle, but if she had to lean one way, it would be bad. But it kind of killed her to say it, It's just terrible. Just don't say anything.
Oh, I love that. I had one where first trip I ever did, I had a pretty rough set, and I think it's to be expected because it's really hard work out there. I mean, I learned a lot about, you're just entertaining people who are just on vacation. Like, it's a very different vibe. But I was leaving like the fancy restaurant my last day, hat on, head down, and I just hear a guy yell, Mr. Flannery, which is close enough. I knew he was talking to me. And so I stop and I turn, and he yells throughout like the dining hall, I just wanted you to know we enjoyed it, which was the worst compliment. Right. Because he's just sharing that we know the rest of you didn't care for it, okay? But we disagree with everyone else. We enjoyed our time listening to you talk.
Oh, that is so great. There was a funny, Mike Toomey, right? Your pals.
Very
Mike.
well.
Yeah, love him. One of my best friends, and he told me a story once about how this DJ was the MC, and he called him Chris Timey or Termy or something like that once, and then Mike forgot his coat, and he had a bad set, and this guy had tortured his name all night, so he had to walk back in front of the DJ booth to get his coat, and the DJ sees him and goes, hey, how about another hand one more time, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Chris Mute. People are clapping. He's like, never got his name right once. Oh, it's so great. So, Jim, you're like a clean-cut guy, very funny, likable. Do you ever see yourself branching out from stand-up or acting or making that transition at some point?
It was never something that really interested me. I mean, I kind of got into stand-up for the stand-up, which isn't always what people want. Sometimes people get into it to do something else. But in this day and age, you kind of have to be open to whatever. So I've been doing a little more acting in sketches and things like that recently. And nowadays, so much of it's DIY, and just posting stand-up clips isn't enough. So, I think there has to be a little more involvement, whether I like it or not, in doing other things, doing more podcasting, doing more acting, But I've never. One time I did a sketch with some friends, and afterwards, one of my best friends called me. Just play myself in the sketch, and I did such a bad job that my friend called me and goes, you cannot play a convincing Jim Flanagan to save your life. I don't know what it is about that character. It's the one you know the most, but you just can't do it. And I think they're right. I think I'm better as other people than I am playing myself in something. So perhaps I do need to branch out a little further into acting.
That's so funny that you say that, because I remember when I started, there was a guy in our group, and he goes, I just want to get my cop show. I just want to get a cop show. He wanted to be a cop on a cop show, and he's a stand-up comic. I'm like, I don't know if this is the best path for that. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but just crazy stuff. And sometimes people end up doing stuff that they never saw themselves doing. But I think you would crush it as an actor, and I don't know. But I want to ask you more stuff like that. Can you hang with us for a few more minutes after the news, Jim?
Sure can.
All right, outstanding. Jim Flanagan is here. Chicago-based Jim Flanagan. We've also got a Door County-based comedian coming up on the show later. We will cover all of that. I'll recap the show when we come back, and we'll have a few more minutes with our pal, Jim Flanagan. Great to have you here. How do you feel about the Curter Burger, folks? Text us. Let us know. We'll read it on the radio. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
And smoke flying, I was tired of fighting fate. Time to douse those flames. I learned that first look, fire is only
if it happens in Wisconsin, you'll hear about it.
local news and timeless hits. WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. President Trump threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act if courts block his attempts to deploy National Guard troops in cities like Chicago and Portland, Oregon. ABC's Trevor Ault outside a NICE facility in Portland and says there have been protests, but they've been limited.
You have President Trump claiming that demonstrators and protesters, violent criminals in his word, are burning down the city, whereas the police chief and local officials are saying that the demonstrations here are happening really on a single block of a 145 square mile city.
The government shutdown now entering the second week. President Trump warning there is not guaranteed back pay for federal workers. That reverses a long-standing policy. Attorney General Pam Bondi defending herself before a Senate committee's accusations today that she's turning the Justice Department into an instrument of President Trump's vengeance. The Supreme Court today considering whether states can restrict LGBTQ conversion therapy. This is ABC News. Local leaders in Los Angeles are calling on California Governor Gavin Newsom to do more to crack down on copper wire theft. Among the sites that were hit, the 6th Street Bridge, which connects the Arts District to Boyle Heights.
These folks are not stealing it to use it. They're stealing it to turn it into money. And if you can go after the illegal recyclers and the junk dealers out there and shut down basically the demand side of it, the supply side will dry up.
LA County District Attorney Nathan Huckman is urging Newsom to sign a bill that'll bring a stricter penalty and enforcement for copper thieves. LeBron James has been teasing another decision, but this one wasn't about his playing career, though. It was an ad for Hennessy, the cognac brand that James partners with. Norwegian Crown Prince Haakon is visiting Minnesota. It's part of a tour marking the 200th anniversary of organized emigration from his homeland to the United States. I'm Dave Packer, ABC News.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think. Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Another Brewers comeback. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports, baseball. The Brewers with a 7-3 win over the Cubs last night in Milwaukee. The Crew now up 2-0 in the best-of-5 series, which now moves to Chicago tomorrow afternoon, just after 4 o'clock. Manager Pat Murphy.
How does this team have the best record in baseball? Then nobody predicted they'd be over 500, and then we have all the injuries. Certainly nobody was banking on us.
Home runs from Andrew Vaughn, Jackson Churio, and William Contreras, who says he dedicates it to the fans.
I'm going to do everything for the Brewer fans. I'm going to do everything for my teammate. I want to be one of the best on the plate. I want to be the best catcher. They have to look Contreras how to play. I want to bring that energy too for the team. And now it's showtime.
The Cubs now down 2-0.
After getting off to a great start, those mistakes for 2 3-run homers is going to be, you're not going to win playoff games giving up 2 3-run homers. That was just too much to overcome.
That's Cubs manager Craig Counsell with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Frost advisory overnight, mostly clear, patchy frost, and lows in the upper 30s. We'll look for sunshine for tomorrow, highs in the upper 50s, and continued warming for Thursday and Friday, with sun, highs in the mid-60s. Currently at 62 degrees.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, Wisconsin farmers and tariffs. He's the president of the Wisconsin Farmers Union. Darren Von Ruden will join us. I hope you can too.
Matnair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals, so I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to.
Broadcasting live statewide from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who gives edible undies as gifts just because they taste good, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Night Light, ladies and gentlemen. We are kicking off Act 2 here tonight. Great guest. Jim Flanagan is here. Asher Brooks will be here in a little while. 2 funny comedians, one from Chicago, one from Door County. Asher actually owns a comedy club, too, so we'll talk to him about that. They have a fun show coming up tonight, and we will get back to our guest, Jim Flanagan, momentarily. Our question of the night is, how do you feel about the Curter Burger? Lots of different answers all over the place. And Tom in the 414 says, duck pin bowling is fun. So there you go. When we bring Jim back on, we'll talk about that. But thank you, Tom. It is fun. I've actually done it myself. If you missed earlier, we talked about Bad Bunny a little bit, and people are outraged for really not very good reasons, in my opinion. We talked a little gym attire, Apple TV raising their rates, which I don't think is fair. What else, Con? What else did we miss here? What am I?
I think you got it.
Did I cover it all? I just want to talk to Jim, so we'll do that. Let's get back to our guest. Jim Flanagan is here over the stream. You can see Jim at the Thirsty Duck in Sussex, Wisconsin, October 24th. There's duck pin bowling and comedy. I mean, 2 things probably we need a lot more of, to be honest. And who wouldn't love some laughs after some duck pin bowling? So, Jim, it is great to have you here tonight. Thank you for sticking around.
Great to be here. Can I ask you about something? Are you a Brewers fan, Pete?
You know, I grew up in Chicago till I was 12, then I moved to Wisconsin. So I'm a professionally, I like my Chicago teams, Cubs, Bears, Bulls, And college, I go for the Badgers. So that just happened. I didn't make a choice. It just happened that way. But my first day in school in northern Wisconsin, when we moved here, I had Packer fans in my face. And that is what my life has been like, Jim, coming from Chicago. So I was never able to make the switch. Why do you ask?
I wonder if it's becoming like Bears Packers with the way the Brewers are beating up on the Cubs. I'm a third party. I'm a White Sox fan, but like Packers fans are so rude to us, and like they just brush us off because they beat us so often. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're Bears. And I'm wondering if that rivalry if it's becoming more of a rivalry with what's happening right now, especially with like Craig Counsell going to the Cubs.
Yeah,
I'm just curious what that's like.
Well, I think it's, Conrad could speak to this. He's had some fun at my expense. I will say, I think as far as Bears, Packers, and Con, maybe you could back me up on this. When it was the height of the rivalry, I would say 90s, early 2000s, it was still pretty good. But now, like, I have Packer fans that say, oh, I feel bad. You guys are like, they want the rivalry to be good too. And it just hasn't been for like 30 years. And it's kind of ridiculous. And even Packer fans, I think, they like take pity on you, and you don't want that.
That's worse. Right? Like that's
exactly.
The same woman I was talking about who was from Sussex, I dated for several years. Her at one point goes, I don't even like making fun of you for being a Bears fan anymore. It's just sad because you guys never win. And that's meaner than anything else she could have said to me.
I know. It's so bad. I'm not like look, I've lived in Wisconsin now I lived here as a kid for like 6 years, and I've been back here for like 12 years or whatever. And it's a great place to live. If they won a championship, I'd be thrilled for them, for my friends and the people I know. And I feel like I've had good sports. Like, I saw the Cubs end a 108-year drought in crazy drama fashion. I had the 85 Bears, 6 Bulls. I can't ask for anything more as a sports fan. So I would like to spread that love a little bit. I would love to see a Wisconsin team win.
There you go. Look at you, knowing your listenership. Well done.
Con, am I the same way off the air, though? Oh, man.
Thanks, Con.
Yeah, thanks for the backup. All right, so, Jim, I want to ask you, like, we were talking about the Curter Burger. Some of my best fast food memories are of Chicago fast food. We've got Culver's here in Wisconsin. We've got great brats. But I grew up going to places like Superdog on the north side, or those little corner places where they have Italian beef sandwiches. What is your favorite Chicago fast food?
Hello. Far and away, Portillo's. I'm sure you're familiar. Yeah. I'm sure you're familiar with
Big
Portillo's.
time.
It's the greatest. They just started doing breakfast this year, which mixed results. I don't know if you've ever tried to have Italian beef at 7 o'clock in the morning, but not particularly the best idea in the world. That's our thing. That is our thing, Portillo's. I mean, we're starting to put them all over the country now. It's hard. First of all, they're the ones who perfected like the people outside the drive-thru, which I think a lot of places are trying to do now, where they'll station employees outside, which is brutal in the winter here. I mean, there are times where it's like -20, and the only people outside are like, snowplow driver and Portillo's workers just standing in that line, just still out there. But they've perfected it. It's the type of place where it's chaos all the time. You order your food and a guy yells it through a speaker to the people in the back, and they never make a mistake. They somehow they're more accurate than people who use computer systems. It's wild.
Oh, that's a great point. You're right though. And we have Portillo's in Wisconsin now too. But in Wisconsin, I've noticed they don't give you that Chicago fast food tamale, which I grew up on and loved. So, but we get the beef sandwiches and the cake shakes and all that kind of stuff. And I have a funny story. When I was at DePaul University, my roommate, he and I would go back and forth. I liked Superdog. There was one on the north side. And he worked at the first Portillo's when it was in a trailer in like the early 80s when he was in high school. And he knew Dick Portillo, and we would go back and forth. Portillo's is better. Superdog is better. But wow, did he win that one? I mean, Portillo's is everywhere now. And it's like, I can't believe how it's taken off. It's good stuff. That's a great answer.
It's crazy. Warren Buffett bought the rights to company bought the rights to Portillo's outside of Chicagoland, which I think is kind of wild that like Dick Portillo and his family, I don't even know if he's still with us, but whoever still kind of runs it, who ran it, still runs it in the Chicago market, but outside of there, it is all under. When Warren Buffett is investing in your fast food company, you're doing something right.
He does his research,
He knows what he's doing.
We've done the question on this show, like Wisconsin, we've got brats. That's kind of our staple sandwich. Chicago, you got the beef sandwich. Philly, I don't know if we've ever done Chicago beef sandwich versus brat con, but we've done, I've had this discussion. I think the Chicago beef sandwich kicks the Philly cheesesteaks ass. Like, it's not even close. I
Nate
like
Bargatze
a Philly
would not
cheesesteak.
like this.
Oh, really?
I'm just kidding, just because of the swearing. I was just kidding because you said ass. I'm sorry.
Let's
go back to our earlier combo.
I meant in the biblical sense. But anyway, it's like I try not to eat fast food. I do like to talk about it. So
I couldn't agree more.
So yeah, Jim, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's my fault. I think I'm on a delay here, but I couldn't agree more. I think the Italian beef here, in its simplicity, is just one of the finest fast food meals you could possibly get. And lovely. The Bear has kind of opened it up to other people, right? That TV show.
Oh yeah, right.
But they make it feel a lot more gourmet than it really is. Like it's not. You want to sit in that beef water for weeks on end before it gets to you. Like you want it to melt through the bread, right? You want it to be radioactive to some extent. That's the best Italian beef.
Here's how much I used to love that sandwich. I was driving around with a friend of ours, Pete Moore. I think you know Pete. Maybe you don't know. He was probably gone before you started, but great comic, good guy. We stopped at this little joint on Cumberland Avenue. We were both starving. It was a hot day, and there's this old, huge Italian guy over the grill, and I could see his forehead sweating onto the beef. I still ate the sandwich.
Yeah. You have
it's horrible.
To. It's the best salt you can get,
I would never do that.
That's the sodium we want.
All right, so let me ask you this. One more thing in regard to your career, Jim, because I think you're so funny. Do you write scripts, or do you have any desire to write for TV or movies, or is that kind of, you categorize that the same with the acting?
Yeah, I think I'm more likely to act than write scripts. I've written what I like writing for. I'll do a decent amount of corporate work, and a lot of people don't like doing corporate shows, corporate events, because sometimes you have to tailor it for your customer. But I kind of like that. I came from the business world, and I don't mind, like writing something tailored, writing something for others. Right now, I'm writing. A friend is hosting the Midwest Emmys, which is it's the same. The Emmys are regional. The only ones anyone cares about are Los Angeles, obviously, but they have them all across the country.
Sure.
But like I'm working on a monologue for that as we speak with some friends. Like I've always got other comedy writing projects going. I've written one screenplay that was just kind of more for me to get the experience of doing it. I enjoyed the process. But man, I can barely work hard enough to write my own material, much less like putting out, spec scripts or other things. So yeah, it's not something I like working in groups on bigger script projects. But I don't mind writing focused as long as it's still punchline driven.
Well, whatever you do, don't stop writing stand-up. I absolutely love your act, and I hope you have a great experience October 24th. Jim Flanagan will be at the Thirsty Duck in Sussex, Wisconsin. It's supposed to be a great room. He's worked it before. I encourage all of you to go see his stand-up because it is outstanding. And by the way, Jim, Vince Moranto left a comment. I don't know if it was on the text line or social media, but he said Flanny, Flanni. So he must have heard us talking about him. That's exciting.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, Pete. It's always a pleasure to be here, man. I'm a huge fan of your work, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise, buddy. We'll do it again soon, and break a leg out there.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Jim. That's Jim Flanagan, folks. Check him out. Very funny stuff. Google his stuff. Go to YouTube. He's got a Dry Bar special and a Nate Bargatze special. Is that what am I saying? Is it Bargatze or Bargatze?
Just Nate Land.
Just Nate. That he's like one of those. He's like Prince. He's becoming one of those one-word people now. You just have to say Nate.
I can't wait to go on that first roller coaster at Nate Land.
At Nate Land,
where it's like you're going down. It's just through his mouth,
where he spews clean comedy as you go down his throat. Let's get to some texts for our question of the night, which is, how do you feel about the Curter Burger? Asher Brooks will be here in a few minutes. He is a Door County-based comedian who actually owns a comedy club, too. Always fun to talk to Asher and have him on the show. Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids, he's in the 608. He says, if I was a burger and I could dream of nothing better than to lie between hot buns under cheese that has been battered. That sounds really obscene, and I don't even know what Tyler means, but I expect nothing less of Tyler. Okay, Tom from New Berlin said he didn't like our answer, Conrad, about the Curter Burger. And he said, why the rage? Or is he referring to Bad Bunny?
He might be referring to Bad Bunny.
I hope so. I didn't think I was a hater on the Curter Burger. I just... Tom, I'm with you. I think we know there's a certain segment. They don't like Bad Bunny, and they complain about that stuff at the Super Bowl, and I don't care either way. I just don't watch the performance if I'm not into it, but I think that's why the rage, maybe. And Steve from Florida, Conrad's dad, checks in and says, Pete and Conrad, I'm sticking by my prediction this past Friday that the Brewers will win the first 3 games and sweep Craig Counsell's Chicago Cubs. Did your dad? He did predict that, didn't he?
He did.
Wow, impressive. He says tomorrow's Amtrak train to Wrigley Field that has now been named the Brewer Express will be epic, in which Brewer fans will be talking about for years to come. Is your dad going to be on that train? He's in Florida?
He's in Florida.
Okay. John Murray says you two knuckleheads need to go eat one. He's talking about the Curter Burger.
I like the word knucklehead.
Thank you for the health advice, John. He says this survey is just going to confuse you further. It is fair food. Amazing. Unless you hate curds. Admit that on the air in Green Bay. Double Dog Dare You. I like curds, just not on my burger. And John's better half, Melissa, says, sorry, guys, but if you've never tried it, you don't get a say. That's not true, Melissa. I've got a microphone, doggone it. Keep those texts coming, folks. We will be right back on Nightlight with Asher Brooks coming up next.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.fm and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.fm, bringing you local news and timeless hits while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
Keeping you connected to your local community with real news and great conversation. Here's Terry Barr with the Civic Media Radio Network.
The fall agriculture tourism season is underway. And from apple orchards to pumpkin patches, it's a great time to travel across the state. But have you ever thought about camping on a farm? There is a push to make a new law allowing farmers to host up to 3 paying campers without a license. Supporters say it's needed to help diversify their incomes.
To allow people to put a tent up in a pasture and experience stargazing, stay overnight in the pasture, and have rustic camping when they're overnight for farm stays. Pick up the eggs in the morning, have a farm breakfast.
That's Sheila Everhart with the Wisconsin Agricultural Tourism Association. You can learn more, including where to go this fall, at the website wiagtourism.com. Until next time, I'm Terry Barr.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn.
I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nightlight. Great to have you with me. We're talking Curter Burgers tonight and comedy. It's all about comedy tonight. We had Jim Flanagan on in hour number 1, and coming up in just a minute is Asher Brooks, a very funny comedian based in Door County, who also owns the Firehouse Comedy Club. So we'll talk to Asher in just a moment. Steve from Florida, answering our question, says, regarding Culver's Curter Burger, this is the first time I have heard of this seasonal burger, but I like the idea and we'll have to try it, maybe on the Brewers Express train. He says, what I would suggest to Craig Culver to make it epic and memorable is to design the bun, butterburger, and cheese curd patty in the shape of a cheese head. Thinking into the future, it could eventually turn out to be the official burger of the Green Bay Packers. Your dad's an idea guy, dude.
I think you need to patent that, Dad.
Why not, right? There's one more I wanted to read here before. Oh, Chris Casper says, Dino chicken nuggies for me. I mean the grandkids tonight. Was he the one that sent the picture?
Yeah, it's some tater tots on one side and some dino nuggies
They are
on the
going to
other.
go to town. Look at all that food. Chris must have like the Brady Bunch over or something. And then... where was I? He just had a great text. Oh, Nick from Marshall on the 608 says, Curter Burger, call it the Turter Burger. Love me some good food from Culver's, but the cheese curds on the burger taste like, and then there's like a poo emoji. And Nick says, Wisconsin can do much better. That's the strongest reaction so far. We'll get to the rest of your text in just a bit. Right now, I would like to welcome another comedian to the show who is one of Northeast Wisconsin's finest. He owns the Firehouse Comedy Club in Sturgeon Bay, and he is also a very funny and talented comedian. Mr. Asher Brooks joins me now. Hey, buddy.
How are you doing tonight?
Doing very well. Thank you for joining us tonight. And you are one of the owners, correct?
Yes. So I'm the one who runs the show. I'm the one who I take all the profit and I pay all the taxes. Mostly just the taxes, actually.
Yeah. Well, that comes with the territory, right?
It does. I really wish I'm looking for some way to reverse it. So like the customers pay taxes, but I haven't yet managed to figure that out.
Well, I think you might be onto something there. And I don't know that anybody's even in those offices right now. So we could probably stick
That's
that
fair.
check in
If I file my taxes really early, do you think I can get away with nothing?
Boy, you're asking the wrong guy, dude. I got an extension. Mine are doing like a week and a half. So I am the wrong guy to ask. I couldn't even get it together this year.
Your taxes are doing a week and you're talking to me. You have
That's
a
right.
laissez-faire attitude about finances, my friend.
This is a lot more fun. And anything I say to you is tax deductible, frankly. So I've got that
That's
going
true.
for me.
My dad was a CPA for years, and so I know a lot about taxes, or at least I know a lot about how much he shouted while he was doing our family's taxes.
Let me ask you, Asher, before we get to the comedy stuff, have you ever tried the Curter Burger?
I have not. I'm from Georgia originally, so we didn't have Culver's until I moved up here, and I'm allergic to bread because God has cursed me for being too handsome and good looking. So I can't even eat bread, so I can't eat the Curter Burger. Although I'm sure it's great, I can't imagine you can eat a full one without needing some sort of medical attention.
I totally agree.
It just seems so heavy. Like I've eaten mozzarella sticks when I was a kid, and it just seems like one massive mozzarella frisbee, and it's just too much.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you that. You said you're from the South,
Yes.
Georgia. What is your food there that you miss? Like, what's the fast food in Georgia that you go, oh my God, I'm craving that right now?
Okay, so the thing about Georgia that is so ubiquitous and amazing is Waffle House. Waffle House is on every exit. There are multiple in every town. I mean, there are places where you can look left, see a Waffle House, and look right and see a Waffle House. And you're standing in the parking lot of a different Waffle House.
Wow.
Like, they're everywhere. They're diners because, like, I like McDonald's well enough. But McDonald's is not a place where you want to hang out unless you're a teenager with nowhere else to go. But like a Waffle House, you can, like, people go there after church. It was a big thing. The Waffle House would be packed around like 1:30 on a Sunday. You can be comfortable. You can have coffee and bacon and eggs, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, they're an institution. And if I remember correctly, when I would work the South as a stand-up, when I was in Florida or Georgia or whatever, they're open late too. Like I remember
They're open
comics
24
saying,
hours.
Yeah, they said, let's go get chicken and waffles. I'm like, what? What the hell kind of combination is that? And then you eat it and you're like, oh my God, I totally get this now.
It's fantastic. Yeah, and being open 24 hours means that they have like depending on what shift you're coming in, it's an entirely different clientele. Like the 6 a.m. to like noon shift is all old people getting their breakfast in and then families. The late shift, like the 12 to 6, that's all drunk college students coming in absolutely hammered and ordering way too much. So I mean, it's a different vibe whenever you're in at a different time.
I love it. Now, since you've been here, I know we haven't even gotten to the comedy yet, but since you've been here, have you gravitated towards a particular Wisconsin food? Have you discovered the brat or the cheese curds or what have you?
I mean, I will say, strangely enough, like whenever I come down to Green Bay has a great amount of Mexican food. Georgia doesn't have a lot of great Mexican food. There's like 1 or 2 Mexican restaurants in every town. But when you drive through like University Avenue, I mean, you can see like real Mexican food, real taco trucks, stuff like that. But I don't know, Wisconsin food, I don't want to crap on it. You're doing a great job. You're all trying very hard. But there's a barbecue restaurant up here that I won't name because I work very near to it and they'll kill me. But Wisconsin barbecue is not the same as Southern barbecue. And it's fine. It's just you've made meat and I'm proud of you for trying. But I don't think you should be allowed to call it barbecue. I think you should be allowed to call it like pork with smoke on it. Maybe that's better.
All right. I think we just need to take a deep breath here. I don't want Asher to dig a hole for himself any further. No, I've heard that too. It's a different animal, but and I totally get it. Asher Brooks is here, folks. He's a comedian and owns the Firehouse Comedy Firehouse Comedy Club in Sturgeon Bay. We're going to tell you about a great show coming up after the news, and we'll find out maybe what he's watching and maybe talk a little more food. And I want to ask you, Asher, when we come back about the blue collar guys, because they were very Southern, identified with the South culture. So we'll talk about that too. All that's coming up next on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It's a gospel kind of feeling, a touch of Georgia slide, a song of pure revival, and a style that's sanctified.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. President Trump threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act if courts block his attempts to deploy National Guard troops in cities like Chicago and Portland, Oregon. ABC's Trevor Ault outside an ICE facility in Portland and says there have been protests, but they've been limited.
You have President Trump claiming that demonstrators and protesters, violent criminals in his word, are burning down the city, whereas the police chief and local officials are saying that the demonstrations here are happening really on a single block of a 145 square mile city.
The government shutdown now entering the second week. President Trump warning there is not guaranteed back pay for federal workers. That reverses a long-standing policy. Attorney General Pam Bondi defending herself before a Senate committee's accusations today that she's turning the Justice Department into an instrument of President Trump's vengeance. The Supreme Court today considering whether states can restrict LGBTQ conversion therapy. This is ABC News.
Another Brewers comeback. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports Baseball. The Brewers with a 7-3 win over the Cubs last night in Milwaukee. The Crew now up 2-0 in the best-of-5 series, which now moves to Chicago tomorrow afternoon, just after 4 o'clock. Manager Pat Murphy.
How does this team have the best record in baseball? Nobody predicted they'd be over 500, and then we have all the injuries. Certainly nobody was banking on us.
Home runs from Andrew Vaughn, Jackson Churio, and William Contreras, who says he dedicates it to the fans.
I'm going to do everything for the Brewer fans. I'm going to do everything for my teammate. I want to be one of the best on the plate. I want to be the best catcher. They have to look control how I play. I want to bring the energy too for the team. And now it's showtime.
The Cubs now down 2-0.
After getting off to a great start, those mistakes for 2 3-run homers is going to be, you're not going to win playoff games giving up 2 3-run homers. That was just too much to overcome.
That's Cubs manager Craig Counsell with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Even though she said no to performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, Taylor Swift is on top again as her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, dropped on October 3rd and went right to number one. If that weren't enough, Swift also has the number one movie in America with her 89-minute video celebrating the release of her new album called Taylor Swift, The Official Release Party of a Showgirl. Saturday Night Live Season 51 kicked off this past weekend and pulled no punches in going after the president after Trump's stunt last week in front of over 800 military higher-ups, which included a lecture about facial hair and maintaining a reasonable weight. During the skit, James Austin Johnson, who played Donald Trump, told those in the sketch not to go too far or they would face consequences. They went pretty far. It's worth a Google. When Entertainment Weekly asked the White House for a statement, spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said she had more entertaining things to do, like watching paint dry. Or maybe something even less exciting, like a president's speech to military generals. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Frost advisory overnight, mostly clear, patchy frost and lows in the upper 30s. We'll look for sunshine for tomorrow, highs in the upper 50s, and continued warming for Thursday and Friday, with sun, highs in the mid 60s. Currently, it's 59 degrees.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Jane.
Still have a few more minutes if you want to be part of the fun here tonight with our question of the night. How do you feel about the Kurderburger? 855-752-4842, 855-752. What did I say? 855-752.
4842.
855-75 Civic. That's what I was looking for. We will get to some more of your texts in just a few minutes. Right now, we jump back in with our guest, Asher Brooks, who is a very funny comedian based in the Door County area and also one of the owners of the Firehouse Comedy Club. Asher, let's talk about a big show you got coming up here. I love how you guys do this because, you know, you do a show once a month, correct?
Yeah, we do shows once a month, and we do them on off nights on Tuesdays because Door County, if y'all have ever come up and visited, and you should, please come up and visit with us. We love to have people up there. But the whole thing is service-based, right? So Saturday nights are bars and restaurants and theaters and trolleys, everything. And so when you get people coming up day after day after day, the people who actually live there, their nights off aren't Saturdays or Fridays. Their nights off are Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And that's when we do our shows. And it's allowed us to cultivate local folks that come up and appreciate our shows. People who come back night after night. It's crazy. I've had people who've come from the very first show all the way to the latest one we did. We've been in operation for about a year and a half now. And it's great. It's like having a little birthday party every month, and my friends show up and give me money to see me talk.
Let's talk about that. Okay, you've got a $15 cover charge, very reasonable. Is there a drink minimum, or is it just you pay and you're in?
You pay and you're in. It's not, I mean, and don't tell anybody this, but it's not about scraping as much profit as possible. What I want to do with ticket prices is make enough money to pay the comics reasonably, because we're on the thumb. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and especially Door County being so far out. If I'm bringing in Reagan Naimela and Brian Wiltz, I want to make sure that I can pay them for their gas and their time enough they could get a hotel if they wanted to stay for the night, although a lot of people just jet back home. But that's all I care about covering. And then alcohol costs, I mean, I want you to get drunk, but I'm just making sure everybody has a good time. We try to be reasonable.
Reagan is very funny. I was looking at clips earlier today of her, and she's on your October, is it the 28th?
Yes, she's on the October 28th show. She's fantastic. I had her up as a feature about a month and a half, 3 months ago, maybe, and I immediately rebooked her to bring her up as a headliner.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's great. That does not happen very often. That's exciting. Who else is on the show in October, Asher?
So it's going to be Brienne Wilt. I first caught sight of her when we were doing the Oshkosh's Funniest competition. So she was one of the finalists. She did really well, went and they played the Oshkosh Arena. So that was really great. I saw her. She did a great job. And then anytime I see somebody doing well, I always try and reach out to them and give them a spot, just because, it's great to try and recognize people's talent doing well. I want to bring in people who are pillars in the comedy community, people who've been around for a while. I always make sure to get them. But if I see somebody new and exciting, I try and snag them. I want to meet them. I want to have them perform my room and hopefully learn something from them.
Do you put up, since it's on a Tuesday, you have a 3-comic show, I assume. Do you put any guest sets up, or local guys or girls can go up and work out some stuff?
I've done guest spots before, but I don't know. I'm a little anal retentive. I come from a background in theater, so once I have a show locked in, I like to leave it as is. So guest spots are definitely doable. And, if somebody presents some time, I had a guy named Jacob Wilson, I believe. He was on Wild and Out. He had done the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He was in town, texted me, and with credentials like that, I was like, my man, you can absolutely do a guest spot if you want to do a guest spot. But if somebody's in town, they're close by, and they've got a good clip to show off, I would love to put them up for a guest spot. But I don't want to invite people up such a long way if I'm only going to be able to pay them guest spot money as well. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I'm being a responsible booker.
All right, so tell us again how the club got its name, Asher, the Firehouse Comedy Club.
Well, Door County is built on the ashes of old Door County. So the building we're based out of is the old fire station for Door County. That's where all of the fire wagons were stored. And I do mean wagons, not trucks, fire wagons, the old boilers and everything. And so the building has been repurposed. We're up on the second floor. There is still the old fire pole in the building. You cannot use it. It is not good for you. But we've replaced it with an elevator. So it's still in the building. And the restaurant downstairs, Door County Fire Company, they're an amazing sponsor. They do a lot of great stuff. And it's great because people can come eat dinner down below and then come upstairs, and we've got a full bar waiting for them.
It sounds like such a great experience, and I love that there's a comedy club in Sturgeon Bay. I go to Door County a lot. I love it there. How do you like it? I know in the past when you've been on the show, you've told us how you ended up there. You could tell that again, but how do you like it based on compared to where you're from?
So I grew up in Valdosta, Georgia, which is the very bottom of the state of Georgia. Last place to use the bathroom before you hit Florida on the way to Disney World. And if you do use our bathrooms, we do thank you for your business. But I moved to Columbus for college. Columbus is a really big city in Georgia. Moving to Door County was a little bit like moving home. You know what I mean? It was very small. The people there all knew each other. I had to start saying good morning to people in Walmart again, which I did not enjoy. But Door County is a little bit like living in Disneyland, if that makes sense. Everything is beautiful and everything is unique and special. But you do live in Disneyland, and you can only go on Space Mountain so many times. So, the locals that live up here, when you see each other during the on season, it's a little bit like seeing another soldier in the trenches. You just kind of give them a little wave and then hunker down and keep moving. But in the winter, it's amazing because you have all these wonderful amenities and experiences. You got resorts with almost nobody in them. And so it becomes this really peaceful, quiet, gorgeous place. So I think it's fantastic. My wife has been taking gig work, so surely she doesn't like it very much. She keeps leaving me for 3 or 4 months at a time. But no, we actually really quite like it up here. And it is gorgeous. You know what I mean? We're so lucky to be able to walk outside and see water on 3 sides.
You're right too. It's a place where I've been there in the summer, I've been there in the winter, and even in the spring when it's not its prettiest, you find amazing deals, and it's like the world is your oyster when you're over there. So it's fun all 4 seasons, I think.
Absolutely.
Do you? Okay, so you're from the South. Do you tend to gravitate towards Southern comedians? How do you feel like about the Blue Collar Comedy Tour or some of these great comedians that have come out of the South?
Well, the blue collar people specifically, I have big memories of. So when I was growing up as a kid, they were some of the first comedians I was allowed to watch. So like John Pinette, I was allowed to watch because he was relatively clean. And then the blue collar guys weren't necessarily so clean, but you could catch shows where they were.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to Ron White and Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall and Larry the Cable Guy over and over and over again. And I think all of their comedy is very good. I remember Bill Engvall's story. Whenever I think about writing storytelling comedy, writing about him going parachuting for the first time, and he and his buddies brought the igloo they used as their college desk with them because it was full of beer. Like, those stories stick with me. And my grandfather, who not a big entertainment guy, really likes to sit on his lazy boy and watch hunting shows or be in a deer stand hunting. He took me to see Delta Farce, the movie blue collar comedy guys did.
Funny.
And if you missed it, that's okay. I wouldn't worry about it. But like he and I could connect over that, and we could watch that together. So I have huge, great memories of them. I don't know what they're up to now. I'll be honest with you. I think that they're the best stuff is the stuff I remember from when I was a kid. I know Jeff Foxworthy, I think, is riding that Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader money? So good for him.
Yeah. I worked with him. I filled in. I was his producer for like a month. A friend of mine took a leave or something or had a medical thing, and I got to hang out with Jeff a little bit in the green room. And I remembered him from when I was a stand-up too, but very nice. All those guys. I worked with Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White. They were very nice. I don't think I ever talked, aside from Foxworthy, with them once they found that niche, and man, did they rake it in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's got to be wonderful as a comic, because so much of your young years as a comic are finding your voice, finding what demographic you speak to. And then those guys just to lock it in and just work. And then Larry the Cable Guy, wow, to get one role as Mater, as an animated car, and then just be like, wow, I don't have to work ever again.
That is insane. My kids loved that movie and loved Mater. And I'll just tell you, since you're here, Dan Whitney is Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
I met him when he was Dan Whitney. He got me into one of my favorite comedy clubs ever, the Milwaukee Comedy Cafe, because they loved him there. And we were at Zanies. There used to be a Zanies in Pheasant Run, way out in the western burbs. And Dan and I were working together. He got me on the show. He takes out this yellow construction hat, and he goes, I'm trying this new character. Let me know what you think. And he puts it on, and he walked up. And the bit was basically just him saying, hey, you order cable? And it got like a chuckle, and he gets up, he goes, what'd you think? I'm like, Asher, within a year, he is selling out arenas with this character, and I couldn't believe it. Very funny.
Absolutely.
Guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. People love to laugh at themselves. I can't tell you how many people, like growing up in the South, talk about Larry the Cable Guy as if he is related to them. They're like, because a lot of people don't know it's a character, and that's fine. That means it's a good character. It's a character so big, it's become its own thing. And how nice it must be for Dan Whitney to be able to go to the grocery store and not wear flannel and then just be able to be himself. Exactly. But yeah, like people, my grandfather, again, would quote Larry the Cable Guy at me in the colloquialism. So it's art imitating life, imitating art again. You know what I mean? Like Dan Whitney's making a character based around people who are like my grandfather. And my grandfather goes, yes, I will use that in my daily life.
I love that.
Absolutely.
So great.
I respect all those guys.
Yeah, they were good comics before and regardless of what you think of them individually, I mean, they were all pretty solid comics before they got together, and they just found a great niche. Name a comedian, Asher, you'd love to have at your club if money were no object?
Oh my gosh. If money were no object, I could talk about the people that are really killing right now. Like, I mean, there are people who are in the upper echelons, like Kevin Hart. I don't even know what watching Kevin Hart would be perform now would be like. What does he do when he comes to a club? You know what I mean? Like, I can only picture Kevin Hart on a stage so large I can barely see him. Like, that's all I can think of when I think of him. But there are some folks that are like, there are some folks out in LA, like smaller comics. I say smaller, that's the wrong word, but like John Marco Cerezi, Ife Nwadiwe, people that are doing work over in LA, like the Dropout cast members, those guys, I would love to see them perform. And the thing is, because the plane ticket's just too expensive, I don't think we're ever going to see them. But I would love to bring them up. Even if my demographic didn't like it, I'd just sit in the front row just clapping like a seal. Just, oh, I'm so excited.
Make it a special event. Come on.
Absolutely.
All right. We got about 45 seconds or so left. What's better, being a comedian or a comedy club owner?
Being a comedian, being an owner is mostly putting up posters and sweating about ticket sales and then paying Facebook too much to advertise. Being a comedian is about writing jokes and drinking a little too much.
Oh, man. That's a great way to go out. Thank you, buddy, for being on the show tonight. Best of luck on the 28th. Check out the Firehouse Comedy Club, folks. Asher Brooks, thank you as always, my friend.
Thank you for inviting me, man. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
You too. All right. I always, when I have Asher on, I'm like, I got to get over there. I'm so curious as to what that place looks like. I've heard it's like just got a lot of charm. So I'll have to check that out one of these days. But tomorrow night on the show, folks, let's do this after. We'll do a break. We'll come back. We'll finish up with some texts, and I'll tell you who's on the show tomorrow night. You won't want to miss that one either, folks. It's Pete Schwaba and Night Light on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is get it, have it, can you hear the bass? Boom, I'm ready. Life is chillin', honey, yeah, this bitch chicken like money. At this go overload, I'm in today, I'm good to go.
As Wisconsin as a fish fry on a Friday night, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Charleston was once the rage. History has turned the page.
Welcome back. It's been a fun show, Con.
That's true.
We have little comedians on a little more often, I think.
Yeah.
My thanks to Jim Flanagan and Asher Brooks for being on the show tonight. Thank you for all your texts and calls. We're about to finish up some texts here in just a minute. Tomorrow night on the show, Sherry Stokel will be here. She's a nutritionist and a dietitian who founded Wayless MD outside of Milwaukee. And I wanted to have Sherry on the show because a couple weeks ago, I read an article about a woman who lived to be 117 years old. And they kind of broke down in the article how she did it from a health standpoint. So I'll talk to Sherry about that tomorrow night. That'll be an interesting conversation. And then our pal Pete Van Doren will be here in the second hour to talk fantasy football. I need serious help. I'm in one league. And it's a league my son invited me to be in with his friends. I'm the only old guy. It's just him and all of his 20-year-old friends. And they're like, he's like, Dad, you got to update your roster. Like, he's getting mad at me. And I can't keep up. So Pete Van Doren is the perfect guy to have here for that. That's another fun show tomorrow night. Going to the stream here, Sydney says, hello, it's me, Sydney Politics. They've developed a bromance, Sydney and Dave Kunish. Sydney says, I have had the Curter Burger, and it is better than any barbecue in any part of the country that you can get or any other food there is. And then he says, what up, Dave? All right. Well, maybe, Sydney, maybe you've inspired your pal Dave to try the Curter Burger because seems like he's kind of on our side there. Alan on social media says, I'd rather eat a spagomlet, a reference to the Godfather of Green Bay. That was an ad-libbed line by our pal Eric Price, a very funny and talented Milwaukee actor. Danny Wheels says, is it better than the KFC Double Down?
I don't know. I've never tried that either.
I've never tried that either. That looks like two chicken patties with, like, it's the bun. The two fried chicken patties are the bun. Okay. Con, you said I'll stay away. Jim Denny says, I love them, but one a year is all I can handle. That's sensible. Eric on social media says, not my favorite. Did not find it to be as decadent as it sounds. Kind of mid, actually. Do you understand that vernacular?
Yeah.
What does mid mean? I know, but explain to people.
You know, it's kind of just, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's nothing special.
Stacy Sue on social media says, nope. One word answer about the Curter Burger. And then let's go back to the text line here. Lori from Hayward says, Curter Burger. Okay. I don't know if that's a yes or a no, but thank you, Lori. Tom from New Berlin 414 says, Pete Love. Thank you, Tom. Back at you, buddy. Oh, there's Lori. We missed part of her text. She said, hey, Pete, had to look up what a Curter Burger actually is. Saw the picture and decided if they would leave off all those healthy vegetables and put on another burger patty, it might just be about perfect. Lori, I cannot argue with you. You're a woman of conviction, and that was very beautifully, eloquently written. Thank you for the text. Steady Eddie in the 608 says, Pete and Conrad, I think Culver should add a hot dog to the Curter Burger and call it Culver's YOLO, Curter and Frankfurter Self-Murder Burger. I mean, Steady Eddie's got the floor after that one. For all the people that were pro Curter Burger, I'd love to know what you feel now after hearing from Steady Eddie. He says, I'd like a large order of crinkle cut fries and a chocolate shake with that, please. Steady Eddie. Thank you, buddy.
Now that's getting to about 3,000 calories.
Boy, the burger itself is 820. Let's say you throw a dog on there, that's another 200. You're at 1,000. Fries are what, 400 or 500?
And then the shake by itself is
custard shake,
I think like 1,000.
Oh my God! If that's all you eat that day, 2,500 calories, you probably keep the weight off.
Well, there's other factors than just calories.
Correct. Sodium. Bridget in the 818 says, does not sound good to me. Okay, Bridget, thank you for the text. She's on our side, Con. Tom from Monona says, I would like to try one, but haven't and probably won't. Tom was all over the map with that text. I would like to try one, but I haven't and probably won't. I don't know why that cracks me up so much. Try it, Tom. Report back. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Tom from New Berlin. This is about our duckpin bowling talk. He says a score of 100 is good bowling. A 300 is overrated in bowling houses. I don't think that's true. 300 is like a perfect score, right?
It's a perfect game.
That's all strikes, Tom. But he says overrated in the bowling houses. I don't know. I'll defer to Tom. Barb from Waukesha on the 262 says, I never heard of this Curter Burger, so I asked my 33-year-old son. He said he just had it for lunch and said it was good. All right. And then, of course, Chris Casper. I don't even know if I read his text. We just looked at his picture, but he says Dino chicken.
Dino.
It's Dino? Okay.
Like, yeah, the chicken nuggets are in the shape of a dinosaur.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I thought like Dino from the Flintstones. I don't know.
Yeah, the Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Dino. Yeah, it's like candy. Dino chicken nuggets for me. I mean the grandkids tonight. Actually, I think I did read that. Thank you, Chris. Good to hear from you, buddy. Did I get everything, Con?
Yeah.
Are we good? Caught up on text? Well, that was a show, man. That was fun. Tomorrow night, Sherry Stoka and Pete Van Doren, fantasy football, health talk. Sherry's the perfect guest to have on the next day after we do all this Curter Burger stuff.
We should ask her if she's tried it.
Oh, done and done.
You know what we should do? We should both go to Culver's tomorrow, grab a Curter Burger, and just house it while she's on.
We could do that, or we could bury it in the yard and see if anything on it changes over the course of a year.
I think something would.
Yeah, listen, it's Culver's. I'm sure all the ingredients are natural, and really the worst thing on that for you health wise is the curd, because it's deep fried. But
and it's a whole patty.
It's a whole patty. I'd just like to be the guy in the kitchen on curd detail. You got to
just
make
dropping curd patties into the deep fryer.
John Murray double dog dared us, Con. We'll have to take him up on that. Hey, thanks for being part of the show tonight, folks. Loved your texts and calls. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, good night, Wisconsin.